It is inevitable. We will all face trouble. I mean, Jesus said, in this world you will have trouble. None of us escape it. I know it's easy to think that the neighbors don't have the problems we do, or that glamorous, couple from Hollywood, that they probably don't have any problems because they have so much money. Hey, we all have problems, whether it's health, finances, relationships, prodigal children, whatever. A key to persevering during the storm in your life that you might be going through right now, whether it's your marriage or your children or whatever, a key to persevering is to remember what God has done in the past. I mean, when you're like kind of out in the ocean in the middle of this huge storm and the waves are tossing you to and fro, remembering what God has done is like seeing a lighthouse in the distant. Oh, the beckoning light of that lighthouse. It's like, okay, there is a hope. There is hope. Well, that's what remembering God's deeds from the past can do for us during that storm. It's how we hang on by remembering that God has come through in the past, that He has answered some of those prayers that you prayed long ago, or those times where, those special circumstances happened, those coincidences that really was God orchestrating something in an unbelievable way that would have been just impossible without God's fingerprints all over it. For myself, I've kept what I call a God sighting journal. I know it's kind of a funky name, but it's a God sighting journal. And in this journal, I write down the stories of my life where I saw God show up in some way. Maybe it was an answer to prayer. Maybe it was just an amazing financial breakthrough where it was going to be impossible to even pay the bills, and yet this mysterious donation came in, or whatever. I write those things down, and then when I'm in the middle of a current trial, I go back and I start reading all of those God sightings, and my faith is increased. It's like, oh yeah, I know it looks dismal right now, but God has a way of working all these things together for good for those who love Him. He makes it all work out. That's Romans 8:28, that in all things God works together for good for those who love Him, who are called according to His purpose. So maybe it's time for you to start remembering the mighty deeds of the Lord in your own life. Maybe it's time for you to start keeping a God sighting journal. And it doesn't have to be some legalistic thing like, oh, every day I must write down this eloquent prayer. No, because you probably won't follow through with that. And there are months that go by that I don't write down a God sighting, and then I'll have another spurt of writing down a bunch of things that happened in the last couple of months. But I'm telling you, it's like gold to go back and reread those entries. It builds my faith so that I can hang on and persevere during the tough times.